Some cartridges invite you to listen, but some dare you to feel. From the first drop of the stylus on a spinning record, this moving coil doesn't just play music, it breathes life into vinyl, pulling you headfirst into the groove with a blend of dynamic drive and emotional nuance that's rare at this price point. You know that moment when a record just clicks, like the music suddenly has more space, more energy, more life? That's exactly what happened with the Dynavector 10X5 Mark II. This high output moving coil cartridge doesn't just sound good, it made my favorite albums feel brand new again. Let's talk about what makes the 10X5 Mark II so special and why it might be just the emotional upgrade your setup's been waiting for. I'll be using two sonically rich albums to describe how they showcase its strengths. And do watch till the end for comparisons to a comparably priced moving coil and higher end moving coil options. The 10X5 Mark II is the updated version of Dynavector's long-loved original 10X5, which I believe has been around since the early 80s. Now it's upgraded with some serious trickle-down technology from their higher-end models. Here's the big idea. You get moving coil performance, that's more detail, better dynamics, richer texture, but at a high output level, around 2.8 millivolts, meaning you can plug it in straight to a standard moving magnet phono input. No setup transformers or special moving coil phono stages needed. Stylus is a diamond Shibata 3 line contact type. The body is solid aluminum with tapped threads. No nuts required, easy installation. Tracking force is 1.8 to 2.2 grams. Now let's get into the fun part, how the 10X5 Mark II actually sounds. But first, a little context on the setup. I used the 10X5 Mark II on my vintage but restored by yours truly, a Lin NP12 with the iTalk LB2 tone arm. I used the phono stage built into the Musical Fidelity M6 preamp. Power amp is the Cord T-Toby. Speakers are the amazing 4Pis from Pi Speakers with flanking SVL subwoofers. In a large, approximately 1100 square feet, acoustically treated basement listening room. First album is Santana's Moonflower. This is the new Mo-Fi reissue. Carlos Santana's guitar tone is legendary, not just for its fluid phrasing, but for that unmistakable sustain that seems to hang in the air like incense. To truly honor that, a cartridge needs to do more than just retrieve detail, it needs to sing. And the Dynavector 10X5 Mark II doesn't just rise to the occasion, it feels like it's tailor-made for it. On the track Europa, this opening solo emerges deeply textured. The Dynavector lets each note bloom with full-bodied resonance, capturing that almost vocal quality in Santana's tone. You can feel the interplay between his subtle vibrato and the way the guitar tones hang in space, sustained and unhurried. Behind the guitar, ambient keyboards shimmer with a gentle presence, and the faint background congas provide a rhythm without ever overcrowding the mids. The cartridge maintains clarity and cohesion in this lush mix, giving the track that emotional gravity that it deserves. Then comes Flor de Luna, Moonflower, a radiant, rhythmic instrumental that can fall flat if a system doesn't get the feel right. The 10X5 Mark II leans into this Latin groove with a remarkable sense of pace. The rhythm guitar strums are crisp and tactile, but again it's Santana's lead guitar that steals the spotlight. Gliding, glowing, and it's endlessly expressive. Here the cartridge showcases its dynamic grace, capturing both the snap of a plucked note and the glide of one held just long enough to make your chest tighten. And the sustain feels organic, not overhyped, not exaggerated warmth, but just enough of it. Just smooth, articulate extension that lets the emotion of the performance land exactly where it should, right between your ribs. If Santana is all about soul sustain, Random Access Memories by Daft Punk is about space and a cavernous soundstage. An album built with precision, air, and an obsession with analog texture. The 10X5 Mark II proves to be an ideal guide through this sonic labyrinth, revealing the craftsmanship behind each track with a level of immediacy that's both analytical and immersive. The popular track, Giorgio by Marauder, begins almost deceptively. Just a voice, a click track, and the faintest hum of reverb. Through the 10X5, Giorgio's spoken word intro is lifelike, with genuine warmth, like a personal conversation. Then the instruments begin to build, modular synth, live drums, bass lines that growl with this heft. The Dynavector keeps everything anchored. The timing is spot on. The groove locked in with that tight yet effortless feel that Daft Punk engineered so carefully. And when the climatic orchestration kicks in, it's an explosion of dynamic energy. Yet the soundstage remains open and coherent. The 10X5 handles it all with a kind of graceful muscle that's powerful but never bloated. The track Motherboard is another favorite of mine. It's a subtler, more atmospheric piece, and here the cartridge reveals its finesse. The track is full of tiny percussive gestures, clicks, and pops that dance around the edges, and the synth pads that shimmer. The Dynavector excels at parsing these micro details without drawing unnatural attention to them. It's as if the music breathes more freely. Each element is distinct yet part of an organic whole. What's especially impressive is how the cartridge captures the motion of the music. There is a liquid quality to the track Motherboard that the 10X5 Mark II preserves beautifully. You can follow the flow of each phrase, the shifts in texture, the ebb and flow and swell of energy. It doesn't just show what's on the record, it invites you into the environment where it was created. All right, let's shift gears and talk about another cartridge that lives in the moving coil world that costs about the same amount of money. The Audio-Technica OC9 XSL. It's close in price, about $50 cheaper at $750 USD. This one's a bit of a sweet spot for folks looking to level up without spending a fortune. First up, this OC9 XSL is a true low output moving coil cartridge, which means it requires a bit more from your phono stage in terms of gain. This also means for those who have the right setup, you're going to get more fine-grained detail. It's a special line contact, which allows for excellent groove contact, and the aluminum body of the OC9 XSL helps with resonance control. It's a cartridge built for extracting every little nuance from your vinyl. So, how does it stack up against the Dynavector 10X5 Mark II? The OC9 XSL has this sculpted, precise imaging. The separation between instruments was fantastic, and you could easily pinpoint individual layers in the soundstage. But here's where the Dynavector surprises. The 10X5 Mark II brought more natural warmth to guitar tones. While the OC9 XSL was razor sharp in clarity, the Dynavector felt more fluid. The Dynavector has more of a musical flow rather than just an analytical dissection of sound. For listeners who want that more inviting, less clinical feel, the Dynavector will pull at your heartstrings. With Daft Punk's Giorgio by Marauder, the OC9 XSL's precision gave me an expansive soundstage and a bass that kicked with authority. But again, the 10X5 Mark II felt a bit more fun. The rhythm section was punchier and the groove felt more alive. The OC9 XSL did a fantastic job at dissecting the layers of sound, but the Dynavector had this organic drive that made me want to keep listening more. Now, some of you might be wondering, how does the Dynavector 10X5 Mark II stack up against some serious high-end contenders like the Shelter Harmony? That cartridge lives in a whole different price bracket, roughly more than 6 times the cost of the Dynavector, and it should outperform it. And in many ways it does. But the story is not that simple. The Harmony is a true low output moving coil design with a monocoque rigid carbon fiber body. It is the flagship from Shelter. It's made for resolving every microscopic nuance, especially in high-end, high-resolution setups. The imaging is holographic. The backgrounds are dead silent. The dynamics, scary good. It's the kind of cartridge that makes you hear how a saxophone player shifts their weight mid-note. But here's the thing. The Dynavector didn't walk away embarrassed. Far from it. In fact, in some ways, some will prefer it, especially on less expensive, high-quality analog setups. For example, on Santana's Flor de Luna, the Harmony extracted more air and micro detail, yes, but the Dynavector held its own with warmth and flow. Santana's guitar didn't just sound smooth, it felt smoother. The Harmony is almost like looking at the music through a microscope, while the Dynavector gives you this immersive aura. You're less in a studio, more at a live show. The same story with Daft Punk's Giorgio by Moroder. The Shelter gave me that laser focus sculpted layering. You can hear the room around his voice and the slight echo, the microphone's warmth, even the breath between phrases. But the Dynavector brought more roundness to the kick drums. Vocals on the 10X5 didn't have that level of realism, but yet it felt incredibly intimate. It felt fun, engaging, like I wanted to listen to the entire album all the way through and not just marvel at detail. So yes, the Shelter Harmony is technically superior. It is elite, but here's the surprise. The Dynavector 10X5 Mark II holds its own where it matters, a musical connection. Especially if you don't have top-tier phono stage or reference class speakers or reference class turntables. The 10X5 Mark II is one of those rare cartridges that delivers way more than its price suggests. It's not a stepping stone, it's a serious destination for some. Unless you've already built a reference level rig, you might find yourself spinning album after album without ever wishing you'd spent more. If you've got a Shelter level system, like if you have a Riga Planar 10 turntable and a dedicated high-end moving coil phono stage, sure, go for it. But if you're chasing music that moves you without maxing out your credit card, the Dynavector's got your back and your groove, so to speak. So yeah, if you're building a system that's about feel over flex, the Dynavector 10X5 Mark II is seriously hard to beat. And hey, if you're curious how it stacks up against other options, I've got you covered. Do you want something more budget friendly? Check out my video on the incredible $200 Audio-Technica VM95SH. It packs a punch that won't break the bank. Or if you just love hearing vinyl, watch my vinyl review series where I break down some of my favorite albums track by track. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep your records, your stylus clean, and the music spinning.